Yeah, it took time. I don't know, a year, maybe 2 years, to the point where, as a high school kid, you didn't need a part-time job. You can make as much as a full-time job. So I told myself, Baz, you start figuring out the know-hows and the how-tos, and this business is going to grow. Your relationships with people get more genuine. Friends introduce you to more friends. So your network's going to expand. It's just like a job. If you're punctual and all that, you get a promotion. They say it's fast money, right? Well, believe me, this is faster than your average corporate promotion. And on top of that, if you find that diamond in the rough, and you find it and it's yours, man, everybody's calling you. Everybody wants to get with you, right? I've been doing it for over a decade, man. And it expanded at an incredible rate compared to when I first started. But there's ups and downs just like anything else. Times that I thought it was over. No product around. But then it was back. And it was a matter of you having your ear to the ground and being there at the right time. Yeah, my business instinct is natural. I guess it's there in the family background. But the truth is, man, it's not rocket science. Like I've said, anybody can do this business, but not everybody can be in it for the long term. But if you do it in a smart, respectable way, you can be in it for the long haul. We've all heard how the story ends. Either you end up in a ditch or in jail. But it doesn't have to be that way, man. It wasn't for me. Did I learn a lot about business? Yeah. More than in my 2 years of college. I learned about investing, cash flow, etiquette, negotiations. I learned about interpersonal skills, human relations, loyalty. But above everything else, trust. This business has taught me more about those things than any other job could have. Plus, it's mine. I'd probably have a different outlook if I was working for somebody else. Well, what can I say? I grew up around it. People start stuff because of what they're surrounded by. And for me, it started at an early age. I don't know. Maybe I was 15, 16 years old. It was friends, older brothers. I looked up to guys who were doing it. It was definitely an older crowd who triggered my involvement. They got me started. Indirectly, maybe. I started off small, but the thing expanded from there. I got some extra money in my pocket, and that helped a lot. Going to high school, you have friends, your network grows, friends of friends. So it takes off from there. A guy like me, he knows a lot about his friends. Definitely more than the average dude, trust me. I know more about the finances of my friends than the fucking bank does. You get to know who the trustworthy ones are. And definitely the ones who aren't. Have you ever wanted to beat the shit out of a guy? Yeah, definitely. Has it ever come down to that? Maybe only a few times. But have I ever wanted to kill a guy? No. I wouldn't take it that far. Like I said, we grew up in a really close-knit community. Even if you had a falling out, some kind of connection always remains. You definitely get to know the streets like the back of your hand. You definitely get to know the people too. Even if you're not interacting with them, you see their patterns. Because you're always out and about. It's like, hey, that lady walks her dog at 10 every day. Or look, that house goes to bed at 9 every night. It definitely pays to pay attention, man. Trust me. Like I've always said, If you see the Poe driving by your neighborhood, you know they don't know what's going on in that hood. They're not from here. They don't live here. They might assume. They might have a little insight. But what's some cop living in the burbs gonna know about my neighborhood? A guy like me, I'm 10 steps ahead of him. Like I always said, man, in this business, it's like you walk a little bit of a different path. Kind of like a hidden path. I'll tell you a story, man. It was a shitty rainy day, and this guy I barely know calls. Says he needs something. So he asked me to go to this place that would make it easier for him to do what he was planning on doing. So I got a few friends. See, you learn to develop this instinct. But sometimes, you get hungry. You want to make things happen. But he shows up with this unknown guy. Now my friends are a few steps away. He asked to see the product. Now this is the one best products I've ever had in my whole career. But he asked to see it. And I'm like, there's no point, dude. It's great. So I asked to see the money. And he shows it. So at the same time, I go to give him the product and take the money. But the product was snatched out of my hand. Like I froze for a second. I didn't know what to do. But then I ran and I yelled and I chased after him. Now I'm a pretty quick guy. So I went to reach for one guy's backpack, and his buddy just a little bit ahead of us, he pulls out a gun and starts shooting. Boom, boom, I saw the muzzle flash. Now I get down behind this rock that was set up on this church where I think we were. Man, those guys got through some backyards. Part of me was pissed. All I was thinking, man, revenge. But another part of me, man, I was just relieved. I was just thankful to be alive. So me and my friends, we go to have some pizza. And these guys come back in a car and start shooting at us again. I saw the bullets go through the window. I heard a couple of them fly by my ear. Shoop, shoop. Man, my friend was injured. Got shot in the ass cheek. Man, I hid behind a car. We got the hell out of there. Even had to jump a 5-foot fence. But I felt terrible, man. I don't even like to talk about it. That night, when I get home, I see the news. Flashing, breaking news, gun battles, shootout. Man, that's when I figured out the news doesn't know what the fuck they're talking about. That was definitely a learning experience for me, man. And I learned how to conduct myself a lot differently after that. One thing about this business is it really teaches you what your priorities are. It teaches you what you do for money. You have some family stuff to do, but the phone rings. Which one are you gonna choose? Like, yeah, I know it's to make money, but it's gotten to the point where you're almost doing it for its own sake. Just to keep the thing going. Like, I always had plans to wrap it up at some point. I had goals. And believe me, those goals were reached. But I guess new goals came out of those successes. Do I want to deep inside? Yeah, of course I do. Do I need to? Kinda. Do I need to when I look deep down inside? Yeah. Yeah, I do, man. See, the thing is, nobody wants to call it quits in this business until shit really hits the fan. I have this whole other thing. Like, I come from this really religious family. And sometimes I feel like It's the devil that's got you in this chokehold. Even when you want to get out, he's the one pushing you back in. But if you're gonna call it quits, you really gotta call it quits, man. I've been thinking a lot about this for the past year. Like, I don't know how to do anything else. Like, how am I gonna survive? It's a fucking shitty feeling, man. And it's the lifestyle too. When my phone rings, it's almost all business. Hardly any personal. Nobody's gonna be calling me anymore. Maybe you just gotta outgrow it, man. I don't know. It's hard to explain to you. I don't think you can understand. But believe me, if I could make the same money selling fucking apples, I'd sell apples, man. Trust me. But apples really isn't the product that people want, is it?